I just shot a 32-minute video that the whole entire audio did not exist, which is so typical of my life right now. So that's another big wasted piece of energy. But the good news is, instead of 37 minutes, I think I can make this 3 minutes. It's July 26, 2014. I sit here alone, midsummer. Around this time last year, I went on a cross-country trip with my family. It was the last time I spent with them as a family before my wife left, and she took my, my our kids with her, as if that was her right to do. But that's another issue. I'm not getting into that. I love her and I bless her, and she's a wonderful wife and a wonderful person. So don't take that the wrong way. It's just what happened, and the reason it happened, I believe, in my heart, is because of the persecution, prosecution, fraud, vexatious litigation, frivolous litigation, unchecked by any municipal authority who swore an oath to protect people like me from people like these banks. Anyway, this 6-year foreclosure battle, which I am in a state of total apathy and fatigue about. However, I wake up every morning, or some mornings, with the resolve to fight on, and I will. I'll never give up, ever, until this is settled. And when I mean settled, I mean justice. And when I say justice, I mean justice. Someone in jail, not me, of course, them. My house back to me, the money I spent accounted for, the money they owe me recalculated, the judicial process re-examined, the due process denied, remanded, things like that, little things like that. But this isn't about the court case. This is about the fact that this case, this whole thing, and this movie, Chasing J.P. Morgan, which this will be part of, but this isn't why I'm filming it, because I'm sick of that too. I'm sick of everything. I'm sick of everything except my children and except my film work. But even that, I'm not that into lately. Anyway, it's hard to be into things like that when you can't afford to eat, and I want to thank a certain somebody who knows who they are for giving me the means to survive another day, much longer than a day. Without her generosity, I don't know what I'd do, and I look forward to the day of making it up to her. But the reason I'm making this video is I do have faith, and my PhD thesis for metaphysics is about a ideology I created called faith theology, and it's about having faith in something, anything, not God, but a power larger than yourself, a purpose, the idea that this isn't a random experience we're having. So I still believe that in my heart. It's harder every day, but I do. And I make this video to point out something I'm doing. I'm making this kind of what I call a binary node, heuristic decision making, geometrically progressed matrix of interactive and narrative engineering, where an individual can go through a story and get to, well, it's kind of like a game. They get to a sought after ending, but there's only one way there. Let's say if there's 7 levels, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Is that 6, 5, 7? I don't know. The point is, they have to get to, it's only one. 63 are the wrong answers, 61, and one of them is the right. And it only takes about 7 minutes to get through it, and they have to get there, and that's that. So that's that. Why am I bringing this up, or what's the point? Well, it's not about that project, which, like the 38, 42, 69 other projects I have, will probably fail, but maybe it won't. I know one. Well, that's why I'm making this video. I'm making this video because here again, on July 26, 2014, I have no net worth. I declared bankruptcy. My house was sold last month. They're trying to kick me out. I'll be homeless soon. I don't have, again, a dime to my name. I've spent all of my time learning the law and fighting off this bank, who is nothing but an ongoing criminal organization, bottom line. And, I've had some fatigue from that. I'm also fighting my first criminal charge, unrelated. Some bullshit misdemeanor with the cop lying on the stand. That was fun the other day. More about that later. I'm not embarrassed to tell anyone about that because I think I'm innocent. And more than that, I think I was completely. I think the crime that happened was by the cop, and now that the cop lied on the stand and in his affidavit, I'm doubly sure. So, yeah, I guess I'm feeling a little cynical about society and life in general. However, being an Aquarius and being Irish and being, I don't know, hitting bottom, I have to be positive. I have no choice. And I'm going to be positive. And so I'm making this video for my kids, for my grandkids, for my great grandkids. And the video is this. I believe, whether it's in a day, a week, a month, a year, 10 years, I don't know when, I believe that I will, quote unquote, be successful. And when I say that, I use the quote symbols because I think I'm already successful. Society wouldn't agree with that. My parents wouldn't agree with that. My former in-laws wouldn't agree with that. My former wife wouldn't agree with that. Probably my children wouldn't even agree with that, the way that they view me now. But the point is, I think a person's worth is based on how hard they work, how honest they are, how kind they are, and things like that. But apparently it's just about your bank balance, which I don't even have a bank balance. I don't have a bank account right now. However, I do believe I'll be successful. Again, successful, rich, financially stable. And I know I won't be any happier then. I mean, maybe for a moment I'll feel the relief and the pressure gone, but I won't be happier. And I want to check back to this video because one, I believe that life is binary within its duality. So one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to remain a failure, quote unquote, and be penniless and starving and always behind the eight ball and always just, and not making excuses for any of it. I've done my fair share of, I've made mistakes, so many mistakes to get me to this point, but I don't deserve where I'm at now by any means, I don't think. But forget, pointing fingers. I am where I am right now, okay, that's that. I believe it's all meant to be, and I believe that I will get to a place of serenity, of peace, of stability financially. I'm already there spiritually, I believe, despite how shitty of a day this is. So why am I making this video? I'm making this video to timestamp a low point and to see if one day what reality happens. The reality where I remain a loser, penniless, unable to pay for my kids' basic stuff, or the one where, like my father, who had nothing, had something, had nothing, had something, had nothing, had an NFL football team, and now has nothing again. That really showed me the ridiculous absurdity of it all. And, for a guy, he's a genius, and he's a great guy, and he deserves to be okay now, and he's not. And, that's another thing that motivates me. Hopefully I can take care of them, my mom and him. My mom who's on death's door, but again, another story. I just want to make a timestamp as to this moment at the fork in the road, as I call it. And the fork in the road is this. I'm going to spend the rest of my life, or at least the next few months, trying as much as I can to do the best I can. And I've done that forever, but I'm really going to focus on getting things done and just doing whatever I can to hustle in this real world, to play the game and make a living however I can. I, again, have spent so much time on these lawsuits and all that, playing defense as I call it, that it's just taken so much out of me. So as I try to make more offensive moves and create and finish projects and initiate projects and raise money for businesses I've created and do all those things, will I, A, go that route and become financially stable and look back at this day and this video and say, wow, faith worked out, it all worked out, and this was a temporary storm I endured? Or will this just be the beginning of a downward spiral that will get much worse and worse and worse? I hope it's the former. I believe it's the former. I have faith it's going to be the former. I believe that I'm going to be successful. I believe all this has happened for a reason. I believe the pain I feel right now, the struggle I've endured, the looking around every day for change to feed my dog, feed myself, and feed a 63-year-old mentally disabled man I've cared for 5 years. I think those days are over, and I think I've gone through it all for a reason, like all of our hardships. But will I be a loser, or will I be successful. Time will tell. Time will tell. T. Patrick Murray, July 26, 2014. About 10:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. God, if you're listening, all I'm asking for is a little relief, a little luck, a little help. I'm not looking to be Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, or Steven Spielberg. I'm looking to be me and just wake up every day, be able to see my kids, be a good parent, have friends, do good for the world, fix some problems, eradicate some evil, create some great film and art, or at least good film and art. Get to know my daughter and son. Get to know my parents before they pass. Get to know my brother, who's a stranger. But it's so sad that what I'm looking for most is something that I care about least. Financial security. And for two reasons. Asha and Jake, my kids. It's harder and harder to even work on things lately. I'm just so demoralized, which is what the bank wants from me, which is what the devil wants, so to speak, evil, whatever you want to call it. So I guess I'm making this video to timestamp again my low point, to say that I think things will work out as per my tenets of faith theology, and to say thank you to the friend that I won't name who's helped me out recently to survive. She will be rewarded in this world and the next. So again, time will tell if I'll survive this. I have no choice but to survive it. I just hope. I hope the universe helps me out, because I need it. So maybe this video is nothing more than one big verbose prayer. Amen.